So I have been working on something new. I am actually writing a book. I've actually been working on a book for a while. Um, so I decided that I wanted to read just a little bit of chapter 3. It's called Out of Bounds. It wasn't the game I was escaping, it was the history stitched into my muscles. Every sprint had always been rehearsal for flight. The fire under my ribs wasn't adrenaline, it was memory. Heat left over from things that never burned all the way out. I ran from that heat, from the loneliness that echoed louder than cheers, from depression that wrapped itself around my lungs, from anxiety that hissed, move, 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 from the quiet cruelty of believing I was the cause of my own pain. The field unstitched behind me, white paint lines smearing into gray, my feet found road instead of grass, and I kept going because stopping meant feeling the fire again. Wind clawed at my hair, my breath came out in small explosions, the sound of traffic folded into the sound of blood in my ears. I don't remember choosing a direction, the world simply tilted that way. My vision tunneled until there was nothing but motion, then suddenly stillness. A house waited at the end of the blur. Small, pale, chipped at the corners. No one outside, no sign of life but a curtain breathing in the window. I slowed until my shoes whispered against the gravel. My heartbeat was a siren winding down. For a moment, I just stood there, listening to the leftover thunder inside me. The air smelled like rain and dust. My sweat cooled into shivers. The fire hadn't died, it had retreated, pacing behind my ribs, testing whether the world would stay quiet long enough for it to rest. The house felt like an answer I hadn't asked for. Not home, not refuge, but proof that walls still existed, that there were edges somewhere in all this blur. I touched the wooden fence post, rough, real. I whispered something I can't remember, maybe my own name, just to hear it survive the distance between sound and silence. After a while, I sat on the curb across from the house, knees drawn up, forehead on arms, every exhale loosened the knot behind my heart. In that small, ordinary streetlight glow, I realized I wasn't running anymore. I was still scared, still lost. But for the first time, the fire and I were in the same place, both waiting to cool. The house felt borrowed, like I had stepped into someone else's life. A smell of rain and detergent hung in the air. I remember touching the faucet just to prove I still existed. The water came out too loud, silver and fast. My hands trembled, the fire was back. Not real flames, but the same inner heat that always followed fear. I splashed my face, hoping to cool it, but it only made the edges of the room waver. When I walked into the living room, the world began to tilt. The sound around me thinned to static. My knees gave a warning tremor. And then my body started its old performance. The practice collapse, the imitation of a storm, not a real seizure. There was no electricity in my brain this time, only the echo of one. The memory of how falling had once made people care. Everything slowed. I could still think, but my thoughts felt far away, as if my mind had slipped into another room and closed the door. The floor was cool beneath my palms, the air thick and humming. I wanted out of my body, just for a moment, to be air, to be nothing. Then the noise inside me faded. Breath returned, limbs steadied. I was aware of the quiet hum of the refrigerator, the muted tick of a clock that didn't belong to me. The scene was ordinary again, but inside the wildfire smoldered, patient as ever.